Just fucking do it. Subscribe now.
So, Dan, there were a lot of dumb questions asked this week, even dumber than the shit I see on the YouTube comments. But what's that one question that we all should have asked you, but we didn't?
Thank you. I was going to tell you before I left. The one question is, down deep inside, you didn't come here for 3 years, 2 years, 9 years, whatever. Some of you got it as a gift from a wife. Thank God. God bless her. Okay. But what is the thing you know about your own personality that you didn't put on the paperwork? You didn't share with me. You didn't share with the guys in this group that why you know your personal default, why you don't want to make big money. Why? Is it your family? Is it your prison record? A few of us, well, myself included. I'm not shy about saying that. Of course, I'm a gazillionaire now, so nobody gives a fuck that I went to jail. 45 years ago, they gave a shit. I wasn't as candid with my record as I am now. But what is it about you that you know, since you're a little person, 3, 4, 5 years old, why you feel you're inadequate? Everybody in this room has a different answer to that. And until you answer that, you can't fill the cup with QLA. Until you answer that, you can't empty the cup of all the baggage that a little Indian guy has on the back of his bicycle. When you answer that, then you can utilize what you've learned here. If you only partially answer it, or you bullshit yourself, or you bullshit your partner, or you bullshit the people that you're in business with, what is that? And we all know.
So, Benny, answer it to who? Answer it to who?
You. To yourself.
But for example, I know how to deal with that. But how will you tell someone else to? Let's say I know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You made me think. I think right away. But I know how to overcome that. But how will you?
Well, you haven't overcome it yet. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to be here.
I just asked that question right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe let's just give you the benefit of the doubt. The way I phrased it, you know. Okay. But if you know, then you should have been able to react. Especially since nobody else knows. There's called under the skin, sub rosa, to use Freudian terms. There's something sub rosa that keeps us all from enacting our dreams. Remember that slide I said, we want to be warriors as guys. And the other side of it is we want to be country gentlemen hunting in the fucking park with our dog and our family. Okay, there's a dichotomy there. I am a warrior. There's no question about that. Not just because I'm an alpha male. I come from warriors. Some of you want to be warriors, and you come from cunts. Most of you, if not all of you in this room, come from cunts. You're embarrassed by that. You know you're embarrassed by it. Are you a man, a woman, gals? Are you a man or not? Are you a man or a mouse? Okay, you don't want to be a mouse. And today, the reflection with the DEI and the political correctness and woke, we're relegated to being a mouse. We weren't born to be mice, right? Mice is plural, right? We weren't born to be mice. How much of that mice mentality has overtaken us? The QLA seminar is not just a seminar. It is a blueprint for creating generational wealth as fast as humanly possible. I teach you how to turn nothing into millions, billions, and even trillions. If you want to take control of your life, to create a legacy that lasts for generations, the time is now. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is this moment. Be bold, be selfish, be ruthless, and take no prisoners. I will still do seminars, but I won't be able to do this forever. Act now or not at your own peril. Thank you very much. It takes balls to go in, and I've told 4 or 5 of you, just turn the key. If not turn the key, sell the business. It takes balls. If that's your whole identity in life, the fact that you were 20, 25 years, or 10 years to build up a business that's kind of mediocre. It's worth a few $1,000,000. But to walk away from it, how do Jason, TK, Anelli walk away from it? How? Can you? That's the question they don't ask. And only one person in 20, 30, well, actually it happened yesterday, 30 years, has figured that out. And it was just a regular schmo, nothing special about the guy, other than he came up with it, and he asked me on the one-on-one time, I think I know the answer, Mr. Peña. You call us all kinds of, but I mean, we've all had opportunities that we passed by, mostly because we were afraid. And maybe we stepped into the batter box and we struck out, and we failed. And so that ended our career. Or not a career, but our career in our search for building generational wealth. I call it generational wealth. You call it something else. And I've been doing this 31 years now, and that's okay. But now you understand. And that's why going back and trying to explain this to your parents, thank you, explain this to your parents is pissing in the wind. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to put heat on your mom. I have more respect for moms than dads. But when you ask your dad, was I on purpose? And he goes like this, you got the answer. Now, down deep inside, you already know that. Now, Peter, who went for infertilization and bullshit and had 3 more kids, and he starts shooting lead in his pencil. But that's different. Most of you were a product of the Vietnam, you're too young, the Vietnam War, World War II, Korean War, and more recently Afghanistan and shit like that. And so all of a sudden, your parents had kids because they come home and they're only home 3 nights and 2 years, and they're fucking you like a drunken sailor. So all of a sudden you're proactive and you produce a kid. But I mean, tell yourself, be candid with yourself. You don't have to tell me. But I mean, your grandparents didn't do shit. Your parents didn't do shit. And you haven't done shit, relatively speaking. And that registers. That fucking registers. And you can't shake that. No, and I came out of a superhero. Okay. Didn't ever make any money. Was afraid to make money. First time he tried to make an investment for $10,000 in the Lucky 13 Mining Company. They wound up chopping the guy and killing the guy that collected their money. And he never made another investment the rest of his life. Okay, so that was the end of his trying to, and my mother, God love her, not every day, but every week pounded him about the $10,000 he lost. Every motherfucking week, only like a woman can. Pounded him. I never asked him where he got that 10 grand. I don't know if it was hard money, a gangster, but, and they all lost their money. And you take money from guys like that, they take it serious. And so they chopped him up, and he's laying between Tonopah, Nevada, and Reno in pieces. You want to say something? Somebody's got a mic, yeah.
I just want to say that I didn't come from anything special. I've got no education. I've talked to everyone here. Pretty much everyone here has got more education than me. I watched your first video. I probably watched 4 or 5 videos, and 3 or 4 months after, I did my first deal for $2.4 million. So why the fuck can't you guys do it if I can do it? Everyone can do this. It works. I'm living proof. And I know it's only a little deal. And I guess in hindsight, it's fuck all, but it's changed my life. And I know that everyone can do it. If I can do it, everyone here can do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And of course, I know this. I mean, I like hearing it again, but I've heard it a gazillion times. But I want to step up my game to, although I've helped countries, et cetera, but I want to, in my last years while I'm still on a planet, I want to do as much as I can for as many people as I can, and I know that I can do that through religion, through my entree to the Catholic Church, they give me a platform to help a whole bunch of people, and I have a platform on my platform with QLA, and a couple million people that follow me. But I want to increase that to more than a couple million in the few years that I have left to do this, because I know it works, and it works from whether you're background like yourself. The more, in one sense, the more education you have, the harder it is, because there's too many things that you understand that with no education you don't understand. Even though I have a reasonably good education, I went to a school you got to explain about, and so now with the kids that Sally and I are supporting, away from the religious aspect, I mean the little Mexican kids at this charter school with 6,000 people. There's no way these 6,000 kids. There's no fucking way that these 6,000 kids understand. None. Zero. Although, and again, there's not 6,000 charters, super smart kids in the entire San Fernando Valley, 2.6 million. There just isn't. But the world standards have dropped. The world standards have dropped. And, average IQ now has been registered. It's been 100 average IQ for a century. Now it's 90 average IQ. In 50 years, it's going to be 80. In 50 more years, it'll be 70. 60 is an imbecile. 60 is the motherfucking imbecile. How can that be the average IQ? The world's so fucked up, and that reinforces or validates our program. We got more people not to save, that's the wrong word. That's as good a word as I can come up with right now. I haven't had a few drinks. It's our fucking time. Why not us get and make a gazillion dollars? What you do with that gazillion dollars is your choice. In latter years, my wife and I have decided to give it all away, okay? I'm not suggesting you do that, but, I'm not suggesting it'll make you feel better. Sometimes giving away money makes you feel good, and sometimes it doesn't, because it's what action they take. And they tell you you're going to do all this shit, and then they don't do it. We might as well have burned it in the fucking fireplace. And so that's where Sally and I are. And Sally's very supportive. And again, one last minute before I leave about supportive. I've beaten you up about, I hope I'm wrong, and I know I'm not. They're not going to be supportive. Nobody you deal with. Your wife has shown the signs of being supportive, okay? And from my lips to God's ears, and I'm closer to God than you are, may she continue. But that's not the norm. It just isn't.
Yeah, maybe not, but she's special.
Yeah, I know. We want to think they're all special, but they're not all special.
No, but after 31...
31, only 31.
31 years?
31 years, okay.
The third time.
Okay. Well, now, you guys, I mean, you're going to know in weeks. Some of you know in days whether your support factors are there.
I don't want support.
Okay, fine.
No, I think a true reflection of how many of the first three steps we've accomplished is directly proportional to how many people we have pissed off, hurt their feelings, made mad, or have left us. Because that'll be an indicator of how much we've done that.
Well, I mean, so since Sally, I mean, she's been a rock. But my first wife was a rock until she got tired of, when's enough's enough. God bless you. Linda, God bless you. You were a great wife, great mom. And then she just, ran out of steam. And of course, Sally would contend, it's not easy being married to you, Dan. And I go, well, what does that mean? What the fuck's that mean? It's not easy to be married to you. Yeah. But it's not easy to be married, and so I never looked at it that way. I always thought it was a holiday. It was fucking Disneyland to be married to me, because I always thought, wrongfully so, I'm put you in a house, put you in a castle, make you a princess, blah, 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 and we're going to have a gazillion dollars. But there's more to life than a gazillion dollars. But when I was a young man, the age of some of you in this room, I didn't think there was anything beyond a gazillion dollars. You know, you can go into the shops and spend whatever you want, and we can go whatever we want. And the only thing we're concerned about, although my wife and current wife aren't concerned about how much has jet fuel gone up, because we're paying for our own jet fuel, you know. But and I don't know any other way how to do this in 120 hours a week. If there's a way, I missed it. I know this method works, and I hear other methods work, but I've never actually done it myself. So the 120 hour weeks, I know for sure, and actually it's 80, 90 now because of Zoom calls and stuff like that. And I've seen these kids make inordinate amount of money in a short period of time, whether you start at 26 and you're now 28 or 29 or 30, or you start at 55 and you're now 60. I've seen it work, and I've seen transitions in their life, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable. And so in that regard, I know I've changed a lot of lives, in addition to making a millionaire, which a million isn't so much money anymore. But I mean, I've seen that how this system works, and and what I want my legacy to be is they're still doing it 100 years from now, before the asteroid hits us, before Armageddon, before they're starting The Walking Dead and shit like that, you know. And we've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time. Anything else?
Can I have a selfie?
Did you? I beg your pardon?
If you roll over.
Is this a rollover?
If you're going to roll over.
I'm going to stand up in a second. Wait a second.
No, I'm just going to stand next to you.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
This is a retro. This is how they used to dress in the 70s, except the
With the
skirts.
shoes of the golf.
No, but the skirts were much shorter.
Am I Jacqueline Kennedy?
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't say that.
No,
Don't
come
make
on.
Sally jealous, all right?
Thank you.
Now,
Both are Jacqueline.
Kat, we're still giving away the pictures free, right? You're gonna, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you're gonna get the photos that were taken tonight free. Okay. If you want to give a donation, Kat can tell you our church donation, but they're free. But when I come back the next time as a guru, I'm going to have 5 or 6 different levels: platinum, gold, silver. You know, you can spend time with me at, $5 million an hour, bullshit, like the kids currently do, which I think is farcical, actually. But I wish all those guys luck. I mean, they're good at their niche, but nobody is as good as this program is for what they do.
Grant Cousins been pulled out by that Gary Brecker.
Who's he?
Gary Brecker is very well-known health and
Oh, yeah.
Also,
You know, like
Lasky, by the way.
no,
Also,
real big time.
Which
And
one?
he signed up for something for the Grant Cardone course and everything else, and now he's been called out big time.
You mean Grant didn't perform?
Yeah, he didn't perform, all the 10X and all the shit and whatever it goes on with. That's what's happening. He's been called out big time by a guy that's like very well known, and done good shit at Gary Brecker.
Grant bought his company in a private equity deal, consulting a private equity business. When he bought Brecker's business,
Grant did.
He bought the business. I don't think
he bought the business, brought Brecker as his partner, and he's building like a holding company. He wants to take public. But Brecker was the owner of the business that Grant bought the majority of.
And he didn't do that.
I mean, this is the first I'm hearing. But
yeah, it's.
My dad tried to use Tanex Health, and
that guy's come out now. Yeah, Gary's come out.
Tanex Health is like what Cardone rebranded Brecker's company as. They're doing like kind of like biohacking.
Yeah, biohacking. I think that Gary guy's come out now public with Jake Fox and all that. Said, no, it's not working. Interesting.
Well, as Steiner and I agreed, who was once, he was whatever he was, and a couple of you agreed, your 6-pack, it starts in the kitchen. I mean, all the rest is bullshit. We only have arguably 1 6-pack on the board, one, and we don't have guys that, big bodybuilders and that kind of shit, because the time that you would spend on that, as opposed to spending it on QLA, is counterproductive, and that's why Marcus spends 6, 8, 10 hours a day on the treadmill, and I told you already, 4 kilometers an hour. I'm not coordinated because I lose my balance, and as you get older, you lose your balance. How many have brushed their teeth on 1 foot in here? You did it okay? Anybody else? You will find it difficult.
Absolutely.
Especially,
But
don't give me up.
you say no 6-pack on the Hall of Fame. That's what I need to know.
Okay, well, believe me, it's not easy, and I practice every day, 1 foot, and some days I'm good at it, and some days I'm not good at it. I brush my upper teeth on my right foot. I brush my lower teeth on my left foot.
Did you switch hands?
No, that's too confusing for me. I'm not coordinated enough to do that. So I keep it in my right hand. And at 55, firemen can't climb ladders anymore, as my kid brother would tell me, for a reason. Because you lose some percentage of your coordination from the time you're about 50 on. And so I can attest that I started losing my coordination, not the coordination like this, when I was about 60. But so I brushed my teeth on, 1 foot. There's a few other gimmicks I use to increase or decrease the loss of my balance. Because as you get older, you lose your balance. Now, you guys probably don't worry about it. When you take a shower, some of you close your eyes, some of you don't. Okay? When you get to be almost 80, you won't be closing your fucking eyes taking a shower because you lose your balance. You lose your balance. And so I do all these, not all these, some of these gimmicks, so I don't lose my balance. And the reason I'm not wearing the elevator shoes right now, but the ugly elevator shoes I wear during the seminar are like bricks. A tsunami would have to knock me down before I lose my balance, because these are bricks underneath your feet. They give you more support. And I've been wearing those maybe 20 years. But nobody's near that stage yet. But a lot of the old guys get old because they don't take care of themselves, one, and they ignore. Most people my age, I've fallen several times, and normally when you break your hip, you're done. Well, I've broken so many fucking things. 3 years ago, during the hardcore, I was running back from the pavilion. Dark, the lights went on. I slipped and fell, and apparently I fell and knocked myself unconscious. All I know is I woke up right in at the dog door at the end of that end of the castle, and I'm hanging on the window, silent in the office. I'm wearing my Christmas blazer, like you can see on the YouTube, and I've got blood gushing out my face. And so they let me in, and they patched me up. The dogs were licking the blood off me. 40 minutes later, I'm back in the seminar doing my deal, and the guy from Adelaide that has the biggest flower deal in Asia, or the second biggest, and blood starts coming down my head like this. And he said, "It's Jesus Christ." It's Christmas Eve. "It's Jesus Christ. He's arisen again." Anyway, but I gave the seminar, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't go to the hospital. I went to the hospital 3 days later. I had a concussion, etc. But unless I'm dead, I'm going to perform. Unless I'm dead, I'm performing. And of course, the dogs. So Sally's, taking care of me, and Kim, and the dogs are licking the blood off my forehead and down my cheek and out of my ear. And so that's all right, girls. That's all right. I'm going to make it okay. But the dogs were more concerned about me than my wife and the staff. The staff's always concerned because I may be dead, and then there's no more paychecks. I'd like to think Kat and her husband, EJ, don't think that way. but I'm smart enough to realize I'm the paycheck here. And there, you know.
Last question.
Yeah. You said that 9 hours ago.
This is the fifth last question.
Obviously, we all realize that however you're gonna get fucked up in life is when you're a child. I want to ask you, what was the hardest thing you have to do for your kids, besides beating them or anything violent or anything physical, to make them, like you always say, a leader is someone who takes you where you want to go, but you don't want to go.
Discipline and accountability is it.
But what was that activity, for example, forcing them to go?
No, discipline and accountability. You're going to get straight A's or you're not. You're going to stay out of jail or you're not. You're going to not be in fights or you're not. And then when they don't, you hold them accountable. Just like the line with the fucking slipper on the head. You know, my dad overdid it. And I overdid it with my kids. You know, my kids don't want to be dressed up because we made them wear tuxedos since they're 3 years old for every fucking meal. I overdid it. I overdid it with tennis. I overdid it with martial arts. I drove down their throat what I didn't have, but could afford as an adult. I overdid it, and that was wrong. But kids don't do what you tell them to do. Kids do what they see you do. The Carling kid have seen their parents since they're 6, 7 years old work 120 hours a week, and they've seen how they went from a council house to mansions. From 6 years old to them 16 years old. From council houses to mansions. And that is set in, and now we've got the young kid who's about 17, who's already a millionaire. Hard to believe. But he, and he's got some pretty high and lofty goals. And, and he came to the seminar, and I'm mentoring him. But just imagine what you were thinking of when you were 16, 17, fucking no good. And I was doing awful things myself. So, I shouldn't be as a benchmark. But they see what their parents are doing. And the Carlings are a hard-working couple. And day before yesterday was the anniversary of Graham's parents both died the same day. That's pretty rough. Within 45 minutes, they both died. Corona, 2 different hospitals. And Sally's mother died during the hardcore. She, spent a minute. I don't even know if you spent a fucking minute morning. I mean, you just got to drive forward. You got to continue to run towards the gunfire. And, my military background would tell you it's harder to hit a moving target. And, people, and I'm not having disdain for them. Their parents die and they're in mourning for a year. I'm not there, so I can't judge. But I can know this. I can tell you right now it's no good. Especially, most of your parents were shitbags. You may not want to say that they're shitbags, but they're fucking shitbags. They added, hopefully you're the only value added they did to the world if you turn out to be worth something. And then for the young people, not the old people in the room, when's enough's enough? I've heard that, a gazillion times. Because I was rich by Mexican standards, so I was the richest Mexican in the United States. I had $50 million. Now that's 45 years ago, which, I don't know how much it is now, but I got more smoke blowing up my ass, God almighty. And that's one of the reasons I left America.